Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Talks with V's Love and Marriage. And before we get into the show, y'all know how I do. Let's go ahead. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to the at Talks with V on YouTube, as well as the HBCU Lounge Network's YouTube channel. And it has our past episodes. And if you're subscribed to it and click that bell, you'll get an alert when we have new videos. And we don't want you guys to miss anything new or anything that we have coming up. So make sure that you go ahead and subscribe and share the link with your loved ones or someone that you believe that can benefit from the show. So without further ado, we are streaming with the HBCU Lounge Network, and this is episode 6 of Talks with V, Love and Marriage. And we have a beautiful couple, joining us this evening for the show. I call him my virtual brother, Mr. Rod Dockery, and his beautiful wife, Cassandra. So welcome to the show. I'm so happy that you guys were able to join us.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
having us.
much.
Absolutely. Thank you. We are family now. So I don't
Yes.
feel like I'm in a stranger's house right now. I'm definitely home on the show. So do me a favor, as a matter of everybody that's checking this out right now, like, comment, and subscribe. This is a dope channel, and you have to stay connected. My sister V is doing her thing in these streets. So continue to show the support to the sister out there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, definitely. I'm so proud of you. You had a birthday that just recently happened, right?
Yes, yes, indeed. 2 days
So,
ago. Well, was it 2 days? Yeah, 2 days ago. Not a six. I'm getting old. But yeah,
yeah.
2 days. 2 days. I'm 39 years young now. Thank God. I made it to see another time around the sun, and I'm extremely grateful to God to be here right
Oh, absolutely. No. And I'm so proud of you because the work that you're doing, it really is something that needs, that's needed. There's not enough of safe spaces in safe spaces for men, to just be them, and
now. Right.
to, you help them with their confidence and so forth. And I'm just very proud of you. So every time I see your post and you go live, I'm just like, I just love the commitment, and I hope that it inspires other, men to do similar things so that you guys can have more of that.
Absolutely.
Us women,
Absolutely.
we create our space, and we're like, we're gonna have the space we need.
Y'all are the space, right? Y'all just, for some reason, y'all just have it built in. For some reason, anywhere y'all go, y'all can go anywhere, to a laundromat, to a conference room, the grocery store. It's a woman's space, right?
It
So
doesn't take much. Now we just need to make sure that they're all healthy.
Right.
that's a whole episode in itself.
Yeah, so definitely. Well, welcoming the Dockeries, I want you guys to just go ahead and introduce yourself so that people know who you are, a little bit about you, where you're from, your professions, so forth. Just tell the people who you are.
Well, first and foremost, positive energy and good vibrations to everyone that's taking the opportunity to check us out. I am RJ, the worst of the half. This is my better half. Uh, I'm Roderick, like I said, RJ the Imperfect Gentleman, and this is my queen, Cassandra.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cassandra Dockery. I and him are originally from New York. We came to South Florida about 11
11 years
years
ago now.
ago,
Yep.
last month. And I'm actually an early childhood educator. I am also a children's author and writer.
Mm, that's awesome. Love,
Indeed.
love, love.
She is
Very.
a Oh, I'm sorry. She has really surprised me as well with her entrepreneurial endeavors. At first it was like, if she's I want to be a teacher. That's all I want to do is teach. And then like a
Oh,
bug bit her, seemed out of nowhere, and then like
It wasn't a
she
bug.
just
It was COVID. COVID.
oh well, yeah, well,
COVID didn't bite me. I thank you, Jesus. I have never been had COVID, and I feel for all those who had COVID.
right.
oh, wow. Yeah,
However,
that's interesting. You got to
COVID,
escape it.
right? But COVID made me teach virtually in person, and I had to
Mm,
teach kindergarten virtually in person.
mm,
And that was a feat that I wasn't prepared for.
right.
Um, Anywhere in my life, in any experience that I had. And I felt at that point, what was I really doing? And what was the
Mm,
purpose of what was I doing? Did I want to just be a teacher, or did I want to be an educator? And I decided at that point that I had to go beyond the 4 walls beyond the 20 students that I had, and
Right.
really start affecting hundreds of students.
Right. Makes sense.
And then I started COVID. I met someone on Clubhouse,
Mhm.
and her and I got to talking one night, and she's like, "I'm writing a book," and I said, "Okay, let this be your will." She calls me. She's like, "I've been trying to reach you. You're so difficult because I told you I don't have social media like that.
Right.
I found you, and I need you in this book." I have never written a thing in my life, and I said, "Okay, well, if it is supposed to be, it will be,"
Right.
and it sure was. And from that point, it's just escalated
Oh,
beautifully
makes
from
sense.
there, and I feel blessed for the entire journey. And I'm
Yes.
glad that not only am I a teacher, but I'm also an educator, and I plan to go beyond my
No,
classroom.
I love that. I love that. I love
I'm super
the
excited.
fact of no. I mean, the teachers, they're so valuable, especially when you have like great teachers. Like, just think, any of us can think about like when we were kids, or now thinking about that your favorite teacher, or that teacher who changed your life, or really encouraged you and made you, see like your talents, or see, that you're skilled, or see that you were really, smart in a certain area that you maybe didn't think, that you were, because you just didn't have the right teacher. So I love that. I always say that teachers need to be paid more, because they're the ones who are making they're raising the kids kind of, half of the time.
I mean, it is, and I just wish we were viewed in the same regard as a doctor,
Yes.
as a lawyer. There's multiple, there's trillions of them. There's so
Right.
many that get
Right.
paid such a high, beautiful salary.
Right.
Just share the love, share whatever system you're using, share it. How there's like just simple daycare inside of a hospital. Why don't I have a daycare inside of my building? Like,
Right.
I am an educator. I'm around children. I get no maternity.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
okay,
crazy.
let me go in and take care of your kids while somebody else takes care of mine. But
Exactly.
those are the eye-opening things that I use for me
Right.
now to just
Mhm.
progress forward and just say, okay, you know what? I can do something about it. I can be, because like you said, I was going to be 65 being a kindergarten teacher. You would have left me in the same little room. And I was, because that was the stability for
Right.
me. That was
Right.
what I thought my true calling was, until, he was like, "Are you sure?" And then
Right.
the pandemic really kind of just shifted.
Gave you perspective, extra perspective on that.
Correct.
No, I feel it. I think it did it for a lot of us. Well, tell us, how, did you all meet?
You want this story?
Yeah, I'll tell the story.
Love
Um,
this.
it was we've known each other. We've had mutual friends for the longest, right? We lived in the same town for umpteen years and never knew each other.
Mm,
Until like we separated, left the island, and then came back at different times. She left and
mm,
went to college. I left for maybe like a few weeks, came right back. I started running the streets and doing the things that I was doing at the time, and happened to come across my man was like, "Yo, we going to the bar one night," and I'm like, "All right, we going to the bar," and I was I was myself at the time, right? This real wild and young at the time, wild young and
Well,
free,
yeah.
all out. And when I walked in the bar, she's laughing right now because I'm about to tell the truth. When I walked in the bar, I see her butt. I was like, "Oh snap! The cake is real." Like,
Said the
yo,
thing
fellas,
hanging. What's
hey,
going
listen,
on?
the cake was taken, okay? That thing was banging. So I was,
I should have stole the story.
you should have, but I like having fun with it. So
Yes, we want to keep
when
it real, so it's cool.
yeah,
It's cool.
I'm gonna give it to you.
I know.
So I walk in the bar and I see her and I say to myself, I'm gonna say something too. I just didn't know who she was at first. And when I go in there, I say, my man, like, who's the bartender? My man, oh, that's just Cassie. That's just, she's the homegirl. I said, oh, all right. Yeah, she's just a homegirl to you, but all right. So when I walked up to her, I didn't have anything else to say, right? I didn't have anything scheduled in the front of the
Right.
mind. She's like, yo, what can I do for you? I was like, yo, I'm gonna marry you. Didn't say
Wow.
hello to her, didn't say nothing to her. Like, yo, I'm gonna marry you. Now I was telling her the other day, I'm like, that's not part of my game. I've never told another woman a day in my life I'm gonna marry you. I had no clue that I was actually speaking things into existence. So
Right.
watch what you say in real life. Because you never know, you could be speaking into existence. But
Right.
she was like, boy, what you want to drink? That's all she said to me. She didn't even address
Like,
the
she
fact that
used
I
to
was.
this. She just like, okay.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought that was some real game at first. Like, you know what? all right, let me just get a vodka and cranberry. But literally from that night, I said to myself, I like this one. I'm gonna let it rock out. I'm gonna let it play out. But that was the first time we actually said hello.
And then
I
I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't into it. I wasn't feeling it. He had on sunglasses, rip away pants. I
At
mean, it was
nighttime.
not,
What's
it
going
was
on
not
time?
it.
Yeah,
And then
sunglasses at night. Yep.
proposed, like, sir. No thing. So then one night, like maybe a couple of days, no, maybe like a week or so later,
Mhm.
he walks in with like dressed and with
Okay.
this girl. And I was like, oh
Hold
no,
on,
sir.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
Oh
on,
no.
hold on. It was crazy, but fellas, I gotta tell the truth. It was two girls. I
Okay,
walked in with
look at
two
this
girls.
one.
Okay,
Okay.
I walked in with two. Okay,
Friends, let's just preface where this was. So when I saw it, I said, okay, say less. Those two will be drunk. That will be mine. So I said, okay, you'll get a divorce. We'll see. And so he was like, we're not getting divorced. I said, no, we're not. And so I proceeded to take care of the ladies. They went home very well by themselves. And I came home with him. And that was pretty much the end that day. That was,
Oh my goodness.
and
That
we've
is so
literally been together
ever
ever
since.
since. We're on year 16.
Hold on, because there's a part of the story that actually has to be told. So
yeah, okay.
the that night, and let's be real, nothing happened that night, right?
Mhm.
Okay, not that
The whole day, right? I came through the next day. Now, I'm like, yo, listen, I'm gonna pull up because this Sunday thing, every Sunday we had a breakfast, right?
Okay.
Every
Okay.
Sunday, her and her homegirl, they made breakfast for me and the homies. So
Okay.
if you gonna know anything about me, V, if it's food, I'm pulling up, regardless, especially if it's free food. You heard? So every Sunday they cooking breakfast. I'm like, I'm pulling up. No, I don't care. I don't care what we got going on. I'm still pulling up for this food. But after a while, the Sundays, nobody showed up but me. And then this one Sunday, it went from breakfast in the morning to lunch in the afternoon to dinner
Wow.
that night to I never left ever again.
Yeah, I was
Oh
pretty
my
much.
goodness.
And then we
Wow.
decided one more time, like, because I mean, we were both very much single. We
Right.
weren't
Mhm.
looking for a relationship. I most likely was not looking for a relationship. I wasn't thinking I was obviously going to find my husband in a bar, like, let
Right.
alone a man that has been technically around. Like, I don't know how
Mhm.
he could have been so around, but I never saw him. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
it was a time where we said, okay, well, see ya when maybe tomorrow. And we both ventured to our others people that we had been seeing. And then I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I literally left that person and I was like, I'm sorry. I think this is over. And they're like, are you
Right.
sure? And then I'm like, yeah, I think I found my person. Like, I think
Right.
because the whole time I was with said other, I wanted to run back. I wanted
Right. To
to
be
hurry
with
up for him
you.
to be over because I wanted to be with him. And that was
Right.
when I said, oh, okay, this one's different. And then
Right.
that was pretty much it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
we were
It's kind of like
together.
when you're talking to multiple people and then you're kind of like, then your phone rings and you're like annoyed that it's the other person.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Like,
How
you
are
being
you?
serious? Like, oh,
And
nah.
that's how we knew kind and it was so happened that that night we both had thought, okay, and we both called each other. We're like, yeah, no,
No,
just let's
no
come
cap,
home.
no cap.
Let's
I was
just
like,
be
yo,
home.
where are you?
Yeah.
So what was
I was
the
literally in the car, like leaving out of the girl's house, like, yo, where are you now? I'm not doing this no more. Like this here is corny. I'm done with this.
oh my god? So what was the time frame from that day that you guys first seen each other and you gave her this proposal and then when you guys started to
That
like
gap,
connect?
I would say that gap from the time had to be like about a month or so.
I
It
was
had to
gonna
be
say
like,
Okay.
6 weeks.
it had to be like a
Okay.
month and a couple
We were
weeks.
smitten. It was like fast and like
Right.
when people, and I'm sure you've heard it be 1,000 times, when people,
Yeah.
when you know, and you get caught up
Yeah.
in this, not a hurricane, almost kind of like a cycle, and you're just like, whoa,
Like
and
what is happening?
you feel like a whirlwind because it
Yeah.
took you off your feet. They're everything
Right.
that you were looking for.
And we was hiding at first too.
Oh yeah,
Let's keep
there
keep
was
it a stat,
nobody
V.
gonna know.
I was like, yo, you keep your mouth shut. I keep my mouth shut. We good. Our best friends, we were lying to.
Yeah.
Like our best friends. My man, like, yo, where you at? Mind my business, leaving yours alone. I would never give him a direct answer because I didn't want him to know where I was at. Because like you said,
Right.
we didn't want nobody to know at first. Because one thing I do tell everybody is that when you find the person that you want to be with, you'll guard that. Because
Right.
everybody's not
Makes
gonna be happy
sense.
for you now. Everybody's not gonna be happy for you, so you gotta protect it, especially in
Mm.
the beginning.
And because I didn't know my lovely other half, as he calls it, backgrounds are very different. Like
Mhm.
you said, he was a man of the streets. I was not. That was the
Mm.
opposite of the lifestyle that I lived. And I got
That's why I chose her.
warnings, right, from your friends. Girl, you better not. Oh my God,
Right,
you have
right.
no idea what you're getting yourself into. But what is meant for me is mine, and what is meant for you is yours. So he was
Absolutely.
not meant for you. But when you
Right,
find yours, he will be. So I
right.
had to kind of block the noise and find out if that was something I was willing to overcome and deal with. Like, was that something
Right.
that I could look past? Or is
Mhm.
I going to always have them kind of in my background and my marriage was never going to be safe? I decided for myself that that noise wasn't for me and that I wanted to move forward with him.
And that makes sense. And I'm glad that you said that, because that, I think that for everyone, it's going to, when they're at that point, it's going to be that critical moment where you make the decision: are other people going to run your life and your relationship? Or are you going to take charge and not miss out on what's for you? Because if it's for you, it's for you. The only difference is that it may just be delayed because you're running from it,
Correct.
or you're allowing people to be in your business. And then so there
Mm,
may be some delays there and some issues
yeah,
there, and you have to
Or
get
you're
through
trying to
that and
please.
come back together.
Correct. I'm a parent pleaser. I will say it loud and proud. My mom's a single mom and I didn't want to disappoint her, right? So
Right,
imagine
right.
me telling her this story, like, hi
Mhm.
mom, I met a man at a bar and he proposed and yay.
Right,
So I had to even think of how were my parents going to perceive this and how was I
right.
going to present it for them to be understanding of that I was ready for this part. And at that point, my mother was assisting. I was, young. And I went
Mhm.
to her and I said, okay, mom, I'm going to be quite honest. I plan for him to move in. And I don't think it's fair that you pay for anything financially if I'm bringing someone else into the
Right,
space
right,
in which
right,
you're providing. And of
right.
course, she said, "Are you sure this is kind of fast?" And I said, "Well, did you see you and Dad?" And she said, "Yes, but they've been together for like yeah." Well, my mom and my stepdad have been together for 36 years, and my mom was
Mm.
that like she saw my stepdad and woo, and they
It
were
was a
like together quickly. And she said,
wrap.
"Are you sure you're not trying to be me, right? Are you following
Oh,
in my footsteps? And are you
yeah,
sure that that's really the right direction? Have you given
yeah.
this sustained time? Because marriage is forever. My family
Right,
doesn't believe in letting go and divorcing, unless, of course, we get to the extremes. But it's
right,
it's forever. And she just wanted me to ensure that I wasn't just like her and just trying to follow her path, but
right.
being here for the long term of this relationship. And when I finally had said no, this is for
This is
real.
it. This
She
is
was
it.
like, all right, co-sign, you're fine.
So, well, tell me then, tell me this. It kind of leads into our next question about, like, how did you all know that this was your person, that you were the one? I mean, you kind of talked about, like, you guys being smitten, but what was the Rod, I guess you can stay, first, like, what made you say, I'm gonna propose to her? Like, this is
hey,
the one. I mean, that moment, of course, is probably separate moments. You like figure out, I'm
yeah,
gonna propose for real this time.
nah.
Not in
So
the
check it,
bar, like, yo, shorty.
yo, but check this out. We just finished talking about this the other night when you sent the questions over a little bit, and I was just going through them, and I was like, yo, what was the moment for you? Like I was just like, hey, I know my moment, but like, what was your moment?
Right.
But my moment is I say it all the time because like I am online all the time. I'm
Mhm.
constantly podcasting on someone's platform. And for me, it was the when I time that I realized that she had my back in a way that no one has ever else had.
Mm.
So I was in the barbershop, and at this time I was really down on my luck. I didn't have any money. I'm talking about just enough to pay phone bills and living
Mhm.
expenses.
Mhm.
And she was just like one day she was like, "Yo, come on, we're gonna get cleaned up. Enough of this." And I'm like, "Yo, I don't have it, so I'm not going." She's like, "Yes, you are. We're going to the barbershop. Let's go." We get in the
Mhm.
car, and we get in the car. We're talking, we're laughing on the way to the barbershop, and on the way there, I forget because we had such a conversation to get the money from her, right? To get the money in my hand, so when we go in the barbershop, I can pay. So as I'm
Right.
sitting in the barber in the chair full of people that know me in this area, you understand? Like all the guys in there know exactly who I
Yeah.
am, where I'm from, and all things that I've done. And I'm like, oh snap! I'm sitting in this chair right now. She's clear across the room, and I have to get the money for this haircut right
Oh
All
boy.
my ego, all
Your
my
ego
pride
went,
was
yeah.
literally on the line. Like, fellas, you tapping in right now. My testicles was on the line.
Oh, jeez.
You understand what I'm saying? It was right there, and I was so nervous that my mouth was clamming up and everything in that moment. So when he took the cape off of me and it was time to pay, I kind of like told her, come in, like, on the low. I didn't want nobody to see it. I was like, hey. She came over and she handed me the money. But now she gave it to me. I was hoping nobody saw it. But of course, the barber, he sees it and he says something about it. Oh, you got it like that? Let me find out you got it like that. And I'm talking about my heart stopped. I was like,
Oh
oh
gosh.
snap. I don't have it like that right now. And I don't want my ego crushed, but I don't know what to say right now. And before I got a chance to open my mouth, this one says, yeah, he got it like that. Yeah, he got it just like that. I was like, yeah, I got it like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm him. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
now
because
I'm talking
yeah,
about
because in that
everything about
moment
me
it's
lifted up in
crazy.
that moment because I was like, I've been in situations in the street with men and gunfights, fight situations where nobody had my back.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
this woman right here, she didn't take my physical back, but my
Right.
ego, my pride as
Right.
a man. You protected
Right.
that? Oh no,
Yeah.
yeah. You seriously gonna be that one?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Wasn't
that
moment
that
for
is
me. To me, that was, you know what I mean? That's my love language, right? So
right.
that's
That's
just
who
the
you
way
are.
that, and I was just gonna deny mine. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't care if you're down and out. We're together. We're gonna make this happen. And
Right.
if you're down, then we are not good. Like, we
Right.
have to be good. And I
Mm.
knew for him, his physical presence when he grunges out, it can get kind of gray. And you're like, buddy, hey, you do have good looks underneath all that. So I wanted to like kind of bring him back to life and remind him, like, no, you
Wolf
you
stages.
have it like that. Like,
Right.
we're good. And this is a moment. This isn't our
Right.
life. You know what I mean? You're
Right.
just stuck now. Like, let's clean up and we'll move
Right.
forward. For
Right.
me, it was moving to Florida. So I always say this: my boyfriend was in New York, my husband
Mhm.
is here in Florida. So
Mm.
it was just that transition, right? Accepting
Mm.
and protecting me through it
Right.
all because I've said it before. I'm a mama's girl. I was a big family. I took care of my family. I did what needed to be done and very responsible. I wouldn't just up and do crazy things. So
Right.
when he was like, no, let's do it. Let's take this journey together. I was like, oh my, am I about to be left in Florida by myself? Is this
Yeah,
really
it's scary, right? You know?
like, is
Yeah.
he as committed as I am? This is crazy. I'm talking about, we packed it into little vacuum seals bags and in a little car
That's
and
good.
off we went. And it was a choice right then and there. It was,
Right.
are y'all doing it? And at that time, we had the ability to do it. So we were like,
Mhm.
it was that leap of faith. And when I took the leap, I was happy to come out on the other side because we've
Right.
been married now, a good amount of years and we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah. I was thinking, just as you guys were talking about, I can't remember where, if we were in a room, Rod, or if it was, I don't know if it was on this show, back in the day, on one of the older shows, but you were talking about when you had spoke to her mom, just assuring her mother
Yeah.
that you were going to make sure that she was good and that you were going to
Yes,
take
indeed.
care of
I
her.
told her, and it's so funny. I just talked to her mother a few days ago, and it was almost like a reminder, like, "Yo, ma, I told you I would. I told you I would protect this child. Like, there isn't anything. I'm talking about
Yeah.
anything that can come to her before it comes to me. Like,
Mm,
I'm willing to deal with whatever it is, like good, bad, or indifferent, life ending or not. I'm willing to deal with it.
that's good. No, I mean, I think that's so important. And then, of course, parents, they want to know that, and especially our moms,
Absolutely, absolutely.
they're overprotective, all in our business, for so long. They're like, okay, you sure? I don't have to worry, anymore. But yeah, no, I feel it. I wanted to ask you all as well about well, first, let's go into, did you marry who you thought that you would marry? Like when you were younger and you had this vision of like, okay,
Oh
yeah, I'm
no,
gonna marry someone like this.
nah,
So
hell no, nope,
the idea,
nope. I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna keep it
the
stacked.
look, nothing was the same for you.
No, well, for me personally, I didn't think I was gonna be here.
Oh,
I, like,
okay.
like, like I was prophesied to at a very young age that I wouldn't see the age of 30.
Oh, wow.
So
Gotta watch some of those false prophets.
but this is what I'm saying. Like there's so many things and so many like different aspects of life where if you're not guarded the right way, this is why I'm so
Right.
protective of my children. You don't speak over
Mm,
my children's life because you don't know what God has for them. So
absolutely.
because I was told that there was so many things I did not plan for, V. I never planned to be
Mm,
married. I never
mm,
planned to have kids. The
mm.
reason I was so promiscuous and living the life I was living because yo, I'm gonna die before I'm 30. I gotta
Mm.
live. But the
Wow.
truth of the matter is, only thing I really knew was that if I held on to God's word and stayed committed to Him, that I would get the desires of my heart. And I didn't know the desires where my heart were, but I'm glad I have them now.
Right. Oh.
Got that game. I got
Every so often, there's a little violence, right?
You did good. You did good.
I think the same. Like when I was younger, I always thought about like family and marriage. I never really zoned in like onto
Mhm,
specifically who or what that would look like. I just kind
mhm.
of went with when God presents him to me, I'll know him. I
Right.
didn't give it I will say the only thing I think I always said was I didn't want a Spanish man. And sorry for all the Spanish men out there. Nothing against you personally, but for me, that just was a criteria that I knew.
Well, you're Dominican, right? Dominican?
I am. I'm half Dominican and half Puerto Rican, and I didn't go
Oh,
for
yeah.
either. And if you
It's
are a Dominican Puerto Rican woman, you understand me.
I
Um,
see.
and they're great men. My
Yes.
father's a great father,
Mhm,
but it just wasn't something that I was going to pursue.
mhm,
So I knew in that sense, and I knew that I wanted a man. Like I
mhm.
wasn't looking for a
The
pussycat.
boy.
I wasn't looking
Yeah.
for someone who wasn't confident. I wasn't looking for that. I knew that I could handle it by myself, solo. I was looking for someone to complement that. What they looked like and who they were, I wasn't sure. And then
Uh-huh.
there he was. So here he
And
is.
you
Surprise!
got the confidence coach. Come on now.
Look at that.
And like the reason I am a confidence coach is because like at certain points, is believe it. Like it's crazy because even my mother doesn't believe this. At a certain point in time, I did not have it. As
Mhm.
outgoing as I was, I didn't have it. I wasn't confident, and
Right.
my ability to be an extrovert was what actually concealed the fact that
Mhm.
internally I wasn't confident.
Right.
It's
But I think
crazy to
that's
hear everybody say it over and over again. You're confident. Yeah, I just got this way.
well, and I think it's continuous though. You're building that because even with
Absolutely.
your I think there's areas that a lot of people look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're so confident," and then I think a lot of us have those moments where we have what is it called that imposter syndrome
Imposter
because
syndrome. Absolutely.
we know that there's some areas well, we thinking like, well, I'm not really that confident. But the truth is that you're confident in some areas, and there's some areas that you still have like insecurities, and you're working through those because it's life. It's the lies that you maybe have believed, that someone has told you, maybe in your family or
Absolutely.
your prophet, maybe just the wrong person that you felt like you could trust, and so you receive what they said and internalize that. And so, but it is just like you said, going back to what God said, like I have
That's
to
it.
pray that prayer when I feel myself getting spiraling. I'm like,
Right.
okay, this prayer that I, pray to God is like, God, help me to see myself the way that you see me. Because if I can see myself the way that you see me, then I know I'm going to be all right. And I'm going to move in a different way
Absolutely.
versus, spiraling and going into whatever it is that, in the moment who's around me, and especially those who are like you mentioned about Cassandra about like being like a mama's girl, or let's just say whoever it is that's influential. Maybe it's a bigger, older sibling, and it's like when they say something and it gets stuck in your head, and then you're just like
Right.
stuck there. It's like,
Right.
okay, let me go back to the word. Let me
Right.
go spend
So
some time
absolutely.
so that I can get back on track and and whatnot. So but I think it's a continuous thing, that confidence being built, experiences that show you like who you are and what you're made of. It's like, oh, you know what, no, I actually
Absolutely.
got this.
Absolutely. And one thing I've also realized too, V, is that like if you go back into your life and you do the research of your own experiences,
Mhm.
everything that you face, you've been anointed for.
Yeah.
Like I had one of the realest breakdowns in a long time for myself. I was sitting outside and I was in tears because I was like, yo, here I am worried about the stuff that I've been appointed to. I remember
Mm,
as a child, things it was visually set in front of me, and I'm worried about the things that I know I've been bred for. So I don't know why I even went there, but anybody's checking this out, and I don't know who this is for. If you are questioning what you've already been anointed for, you've been appointed. You can't get away from it. It's who you are. Just accept it.
Absolutely. Well, what do you guys say about struggles that that you face and different trials that come? Whether it's in the relationship. I mean, I think that's something to touch on. Obviously, we're talking about marriage, but obviously as well, outside influences happen, like things with your family. So how do you all, I guess, reframing it? How do you protect what you've built with each other, and and how you go about issues that you may face? How do you, like, I guess, protect the relationship and not allow it, when you face different trials, not allow those things to um, separate you?
Oh well, right now we're being pulled apart by our children, but she'll be back in a second. Um, the in a serious note was that it's simply when things get rough, you remember that you have a commitment to you, God, and the person that you're with. Like,
Mhm.
it's not about your family at that point. It's not about your mother, not about your father, your sister, your brother. It's
Mhm.
about the community, the commitment you made between the triad, you, God, and that person you're with. And everything else happens from there, but it doesn't happen until that's secure, right? I can't. The Bible says leave and cleave, meaning that I have to take care of my family first and then see about my mother. See, a lot
Right.
of times people get into relationships and are not willing to put the new things into a different priority. My mother's
Mm,
always been my mother. I love her with the utmost love. She brought me into this world. But the
right.
thing is, I have to take care of my wife and then see
Right.
about my mother, right?
Right.
Because that's what the good book told me to do. So I believe that a lot of things happen when we allowed our families to come up and in a position of out of position and come in between relationships. We
Right.
don't have arguments where we run to our peoples and try to have them as liaisons between us. We have our
Mhm.
spats between us. We handle our business in the home, and that's where it stays. And everything else from there handles from that point.
Absolutely.
It's staying sure-footed, right? It's
Mm.
understanding that you chose to be in this relationship and you're two individual people trying to make something work, right?
Right.
You're
And you
trying
find,
to understand that you're going to have different views, different values, but what are you two together coming to
what are you
create?
creating?
And
Right.
then you're going to do your hardest to protect it. And he's right. You can't go to someone else. You can't go to your girlfriend and your best friend, and
Mhm.
definitely not your mama, and
Yeah.
tell them everything, "Blah, blah, blah, mommy, mommy, blah, 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 blah," and then go back and talk to
Right.
him. It
Right.
cannot be. It's got to be
Right.
that raw feeling that you want to give your girlfriend is the same thing you have to give him. So there's days that, I have to bite my tongue and I just sit and he'll say, like, you're quiet. And I'm like, I'm absorbing. I'm listening to
Right.
what you're saying. And then we have to, in heated moments, just hold stead in the house. We steadfast. There's no running. There's no
Right.
sleeping on the couch. There's no, I'll be
You go
right
stay
back. No,
here.
ma'am. No, there's none of that. And because we are here forever, this is not a,
Absolutely.
like an almost, like I said to him, if you marry me, this is forever. You're my
Right.
husband. You're no
Right.
longer my boyfriend, my little
Right.
boy toy. No, this is forever. And
Mhm.
so when we decided to put the rings on our fingers, we decided to hold hands through the storms. They're coming,
Mhm.
and they come in all shapes and forms. You can call it whatever it is in your relationship. It's coming
Mhm.
for you. Some
Right.
hailstorms are hard. And you say to
Mhm.
yourself, wait a minute, what am I doing? And then
Right.
I go back, and what I love about him, we both go back to God in our own spaces. We'll
Mhm.
go back and then we come back together within him. And then we say, okay, what is it that we need to do to weather this storm? Because that
Right.
little problem that you're going through is so minute in the long run of everything. And so when you tend to not stay solid in your footing and you start going to go step to talk to someone else or going outside of the relationship, then you need to evaluate if that's your person. If you're constantly willing to leave your person to find the answer, that might not be your
Mhm.
person. And you
Oh,
need to
wow.
evaluate.
No, that's a good perspective. I haven't really thought about that, or well, I haven't been married, also. but yeah, just something to kind of keep in mind,
But think about the
like,
boyfriend, right? That you're contemplating on. You're
yeah,
talking to this guy, and there's something that
yeah,
keeps making you go away
running
from
from
him
him, not
to
dealing
go
with
find
him.
the
Yeah,
solution to the answer that he has to give you. If
right.
my girlfriend can tell me whatever she wants to tell me, my mama can, my mother loves to quote Bibles, scriptures
Right.
at me. So she'll be like, well, here in Jeremiah, I'm like, Ma, this is reality. But because I'm not supposed to be getting the answer from my mother. And who
Right,
does my mother go to find the answer? She goes to God. She goes to the Bible to find the answer. So she throws a scripture in my face. And I'm like, all right. And I take the scripture and I'll go read it. And then I said, you know what? No,
absolutely.
in reality, it is him. He's going to give me the answer. Now, whether I want to hear that answer and
Hmm.
accept that answer, that's a whole nother conversation. Because he can tell me whatever he wants. And it's whether or not I'm accepting of it and I want to hear it and I want to move forward or move away from it. But that's something that if this is your marriage, this is your person, you're going to persevere with them. You're going to want to go to them to find out.
Right. Push through, work through it, because that's who you're committed
If you're,
to.
in my personal opinion, if you're shying away, there's a reason for that. That person
Hmm.
isn't providing you what you're looking for, so you go searching it from everybody
Right.
else, and then you get it. You'll get your fill from your best friend. You'll get your little fill from your mama
Mhm.
and your other girlfriend that says, "Girl, leave him. You better leave him."
Mhm, mhm. It's all these indications just letting you know that you're either not ready or that person is not the one.
Correct.
And we have to listen to that. It's
Yes.
just, I don't know why we run away from the things that are meant to protect us, or meant to show us, you know, um, so that we don't have to keep doing the same thing over and trying to learn this lesson. It's just like, embrace the process.
Right.
But I
And
but I love that, if you feel like you're constantly running away, then this may not be, it.
that might be
Um,
the answer. That
yes,
is, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we keep going back, oh, we'll fix it or it'll get better. And then you're negating what is really being said to you. The truth is being told to you, you're not accepting it.
it's
You
right
keep
there.
wanting it to change. Next time he's going to tell me what I want to hear. He is telling you, ma'am, what he wants to hear. Because this one right here, he tells me what I want to hear. There's days that the confession of love is overwhelming because I wasn't brought that way. But when they love you,
Right.
trust and believe, they will confess it with their mouth. They will be there for. There won't be, oh,
Then
my
show it
phone
too.
was missing, or oh,
Right.
I missed it, and see what happened. None of that. This man, I'm gone for 32.2 seconds. Babe, you okay? You made it to the store. And I'm looking, I'm like, I just went to the mailbox. He's like, just making sure you're okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
that's so cute.
Like this,
But
there's a
there's that,
commitment on the line.
right.
Like
There's a
Right.
protection.
there's
Right.
my name is on that.
Right.
Yeah, and that, you can tell that you take that serious,
Very,
Correct.
very.
I
But
wanted
that's
to
because
ask,
I'm his person and
right,
he
because you guys
understands.
chose, you chose the right, what was for you,
Right.
and I
Correct.
think that that's the difference. A lot of people, they question unconditional love. They question a lot of things because they didn't select the person that was for them. Maybe they're rushed. Maybe they married for the wrong reason.
Yeah, stop right
Yeah.
there, V. Talk about that for a second.
Or you've
They,
been with them forever in a day.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They
yeah,
want
well,
stability. They're, oh, I've been with my baby daddy for 18 years. Baby
right.
girl. That doesn't make him your person.
Exactly. Or maybe because you may have attached yourself to them because you were
Right,
trauma bonding,
right, right.
and
Say that again.
okay, you understand this, but it's just like, it's just not one part of you. It's just like when people want you for the good things and they can't accept you for your flaws. But some people are linked together because of the flaws, right?
Right.
Because of that, their imperfections, but also their flaws, and they know that this person is not going to judge them because they have the same issue, right? And so you're with the person, because of that, and you're not realizing that you're not even tapping into your full potential and where it is that you're supposed to go, where God's trying to take you, because you're in this comfortable space,
Correct.
comfortable.
Or you think it's comfortable.
Yeah, you think it's comfortable, right? It just because it's familiar. And
Correct.
so, but I was going to ask, what would you all say? What is something that you learn about marriage that no one ever told you? I guess either a positive thing or even something that wasn't, um,
Yeah, you go
it,
On a
first.
silly
it left
note, you want a
me.
silly one? I'm gonna give you a silly one. Yeah,
Okay.
this is raw. Dishes and laundry and picking up toys off the floor are forever. It doesn't end. That's part of your marriage. It doesn't. No one told me that part. Picking dinner every night. Every night, I have to decide the dinner. Ooh, that I wasn't. I call my mom. I'm like, ma'am. She's like, I told you, but you didn't tell me. But that is forever. That is
Yes.
forever. That's not going away. Doesn't matter how well you do them, they'll be back. So
They'll be
Yes.
just
back.
embrace
Dishes
that
and
they're
clothes
coming
and
back.
toys, no matter what you
The
do.
dishes, clothes, and toys. That's gonna be
Yes.
that for me.
It's like, yeah, when you clean up and you're just like, oh, I'm so proud. It looks so good in here.
Take a
3
picture.
days, maybe at
Uh,
max, if no one's there, but not
listen,
not with kids, not with
now with
kids and
these two little
family.
toddlers here that run my
Mm-mm.
household, I'm like, I said, God made me short for a reason, just to be on the closer to the floor to pick up all the toys.
That's hilarious.
But I would say that what did someone did? What was the question?
Something that you learned about marriage that no one ever told you, that they never told you before marriage.
I would
Oh,
say for me, the emotional weight,
mm.
because
Talk
all
about
my
that.
life I've had to deal with just understanding how to deal with my mom, right? Because
Mm,
she's a very boisterous and dominant figure. So
mm,
operating and moving around her throughout my childhood, I had to learn how to operate. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
being that way, I was very susceptible and sensitive to everybody's energy around the house.
Mm,
And when you become one with someone, that's real. Like
yeah.
that emotional that connection
Mm,
sometimes is a weight. So if you're not careful and understanding how to deal with that, you'll find yourself in a space where you're literally not even being yourself. Like you're
mm,
you're so much concerned about the other individual's well-being that if a hair is out of place or if something minor is going on, my world is destroyed. So I
mm,
didn't understand the balance of understanding, like, yes, I have to make sure that she's okay in her space, but as well as not lose myself. And that was one of the hardest things because I don't care what nobody say. When you are with somebody, you with them. And all that talking about,
mm,
oh, I don't care what's going on with them, cap,
mm.
capital cap. Because I'd be like, I don't care if she's angry,
Yeah, you do.
cap. I,
Everything.
all of what she's mad about is sitting on my back. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't care if I leave the house, go play basketball, it's still there. You understand?
Right.
And understanding how to balance and understanding how to be in that good space between emotional space and mental space, as well as a protector and a provider. It was something that nobody explained to me, and it was really, really an eye-opening experience for me in this journey as a man and a husband.
Yeah, definitely. I love that you said that because the more men that I've talked to in maybe in the last year, just listening to them, I realize that a lot of them haven't been prepared for what it really means, to take on this family. Obviously, you hear about that financial, being a provider and protector, but even with the
That's the easy
providing
part.
part, I don't think that, yeah, it is, because it's the one that has always been told to you and beat into your head your whole life, right? But even with that, I don't think they understand, what's that number? What is that number? What's the amount? Like, what does it really cost?
Right.
Beyond the
And they
money.
don't. Nobody
What is the
explains to
cost of leading a household?
right as a boy. You look at things, especially in a household that wasn't a dominant man in the house. There's
Hmm.
so many things that were transpiring that I was a part of that a man should have been teaching me what that was happening in
Absolutely.
that moment. This is why I'm so
Absolutely.
big on my son. While some things are happening, wait a minute. Let me explain this. This is what's happening. This is what my role is in this situation because
Hmm.
here I am growing up, just watching things happening, and now one of the examples I use all the time is that when we first got together, I was flipping on her with the kids. I'm like, yo, why you needed me to discipline these kids? What's wrong with you? Me, mind you, my mother was the disciplinary in my household, so I'm
Because how
thinking that
you
this is
feel.
what she was supposed to be doing. But in no actuality,
Mhm.
my mother was doing what she was doing because I wasn't present. She didn't have a
Oh,
me in the
absolutely.
house. So
Yeah.
once I gathered that, right, once I start putting one and two together and realize like, oh,
There was
I'm
a
mad at her
role.
for doing my job. I'm
Right.
mad at her for not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And once I gathered that, our household began to really become in harmony.
Right. You finally got to be able to walk into your role,
Yes.
and a lot of times there has to be a space for it. And when you are in a situation that's not ideal, coming up in a situation that's not ideal, everybody's overcompensating,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
so now you have this space, you have this wife who's, willing to do, her part, and there's this open space, and you're supposed to walk into it, but you had to like learn, like, oh,
This is my
now
space.
this is my space.
This is where I
Yeah,
belong.
I think that
absolutely.
for
Absolutely.
me, what wasn't told is how to keep ourselves individual but together. There were so
Mm,
many times when he decided
yes.
to say, "Hey, Cass, I want to do this," and I'm like, "Okay,
Right.
then we're going for it. It's gonna work for our family. We're gonna work for it." But there were days I'm like, "You got to get out of my house. Like, I
Right.
need you to go to the gym or go play basketball. I need you to do
Right.
something," because he was getting stuck, and then he wouldn't, like, he would only stay within the unit, and I'm like, "That's not gonna work out. Like,
Right.
you're depending on me to be everything now for you. This
Right.
outside communication, the
Right.
manly tug. Now I'm have to now, but I'm like, oh no, and I gotta cook, clean, and go. No, sir. So I had to really explain to him,
Like,
like,
don't lose yourself in this. Yeah,
don't lose
no
yourself,
one
and
can be
I
your
can't be everything.
everything. Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
And that's why, like, sometimes, like, I'm a teacher. I don't ask him to lesson plan with me because he's not a
Mhm.
teacher.
Right.
He's a podcaster. I'm not. So he
Right.
knows there's certain things, but you have to stay. You will lose yourself in a relationship. And then you
Yes.
feel like, oh, he always or she always, and I don't. That's because you won't advocate for it. You won't say that for your
Mm,
relationship. With
right.
us, it's very adamant that I have a lane, he has a
Mm,
lane, and together we're going down this highway. No
right.
disrespect to anyone, but they, especially men, I love you, but they need a certain level
Yeah.
of
Yes.
other men that
Absolutely.
Right.
to just have that testosterone bonding. And I'll tell you, I'll
Absolutely.
ship him off to the gym. He'll come back a new person. I'm like, woo, we're
Yeah.
back. Because I can't. There's only
Right.
but so much before I'm like, babe, okay,
Okay. You're
I
like,
got
okay.
us, but I'm kind of going down. And
Right. Right.
it's just understanding that it's okay
To
for
have that.
me to be, and for him to be, and for us to be. And that's
Yes.
the only way
I
for
think
me.
that's healthy. I think that is
Yes.
For
healthy. And
us, it's become very healthy because at one point,
yeah.
like I told you, we were in this weird rut. Then he was like, "Oh no, babe, I go take care of the kids," and I'm like, "No, no, no! Like, you just work from home. Like, it's
Hmm.
okay. Like, you can
Right.
go to the gym and still find that rhythm." So that's when we really looked at our scheduling
Yeah.
and what the
Right.
schedule was going to look like for the family, and when were
Mm,
we going to have no cell phone time? When were we going to have downtime? When was he going to cut off the work? When do you
hmm.
say home, the home life, the home work life is over? And for us, it was
Right.
getting a third bedroom. We had to get an office where the door
Where
closed,
you got
and we were like,
that's
no, now it's
Yo,
daddy,
she'll lock the door on me. Like she'll
yeah,
lock the
and
office door and won't let me in
that's
here.
it. Like, you have to build that. Otherwise, you'll just get stuck in that, one rut, and you just can't. You have to have like a balance.
right. No, I understand that for sure. It's just that space. And, I always think that, like, I'm very, girly and stuff like that. But, sometimes I need my girly time. I don't want to like overwhelm you with making you do all this stuff with me. And then I know that you
Right.
need your male time,
Right.
and honestly, the last few years I've learned how much of it that men need and that they lose, a lot of times, not necessarily in the relationship. They may start to, but in the marriage especially. And it's like they need that space, that
They
Yes.
that
need
space
that.
to be human,
Right, but you have to respect that
and to
space as a
be
woman. Like,
yes,
as a
exactly.
woman, like,
That's
you're looking for
maturity.
marriage, you
Yeah.
have to respect that. Respect
Right.
that he's not gonna go out and do whatever your brain has
Yeah.
concocted in there. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a steadfast that you two are speaking, you two are on the same accord, you're not worried. You're
Right.
excited for him to go to the gym because you're
Yeah.
like,
It's like,
buddy,
happy to get out.
you
Get
know,
time
but
out.
if
Thank you
you're
for
if
the
you're
fun.
he moves at the house and I can't trust him, and oh my God, he went.
Yeah.
That is where it's not going to work because you're
Right.
building an anxiety in a space that should be peaceful. You
Right.
see what
And
I'm saying?
which is going to just cause all these issues that
Distrust.
that are going to become bigger over time. So,
Absolutely. And I want
but
to I want to point out something to the new couples as well.
yeah,
When you're
yeah.
caught up in that new bliss of the beginning, right? Like when
Mhm.
you're in that oh my God, everything is so good. don't forget that that's only a phase.
Right.
It's only a phase, because what happens is you get so caught up in it that you start losing relationships, right? You start
Mm,
pushing other friends that were around away from you,
mm,
and a
right.
part of you begins to die, right? And if you don't feed that space of your life, it dies, and then you find yourself in a space where you're literally like dying. You don't have anyone to talk to,
Mhm.
and you're trying to put all the weight on the person. Now they're getting bogged down. Don't lose the fact that before you was with that person, you had a support system. Don't
Right.
let your support systems go, and don't let them fall by the wayside just because you have a new love in your life. Let those begin to mend and intermingle, and make that a
Mhm.
healthy relationship around you as an environment, so that you can thrive. You can go to your wife, you can go to your friends, you can go to your family, and have an ecosystem that's built to support you emotionally and mentally.
Absolutely. It takes a village, and it's not just to raise children. It's
Ah, come on.
That
to
is
go through life. They say that we're meant to do it with community. And that's why,
Right.
like, when we go to church, it's not just one person, it's, two or more touching agree. It's, us fellowshipping. It's us having people who are going to keep us accountable, in
Right.
our life. And so, yeah, absolutely. I love all of that. Just having that balance so that I think as you go through life, there's these stages. Your parents are pouring into you, teaching you certain things, supposedly for you, right? Then
Mhm.
you add someone to that equation. You have a partner. So then you are building with them, but not losing those friendships and those, different relationships that you've built, outside of your family, and your partner. And so, and then you have kids. So then you are building on, and if it's done correctly, then you could be healthy. But, obviously it's not always done correctly. We don't always come up the way
Hey,
that is ideal,
right,
so
right.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that that is, great advice. I wanted two more things because we're, about to wrap up. We're, at that coming close to the end here. I wanted you guys to share what inspires you and what about your marriage brings you joy.
Mm.
And then you guys can finish up with, last words of advice for people who want to get married, and even, couples, that are married.
Yeah.
I think for me, the joy is the fact that we've made a family, that we have
Mm.
kids, that we see ourselves in them, that they
Mm.
love each other. Um, that's the joy for me. Like that, what
Yeah.
through all that we've been through as two individuals, when we came together, we've
What you
created
built.
something beautiful. And I know it is just going to continue. I
Yeah.
can feel it in my heart. So for me, that is the joy.
Yes.
Oh
The
man.
family is beautiful too. I see. I was
Yes.
like,
Thank
oh, they're so cute.
you. For me, it's just it's home,
Hmm.
right? I know so many men, and it breaks my heart, that do things not to go home. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm
Taking
saying?
the long route home, the scenic
Long
route.
route, going to bars, putting themselves in precarious situations, all because they're not happy with their home. You
Hmm.
created a home that I claw to get to. You understand me?
Hmm.
Like when I was working a job, a 9 to 5, like it didn't take too much to
Yeah.
get me up out of there, to get me back to my house. And there's nothing that keeps me from it. Like I enjoy what me and this woman have created. And like my advice to anyone is, it's not about what someone brings to the table. It's about, are they willing to build that table with you?
Amen.
Are you willing to sit there and take on what life has to offer? Because
Hmm.
this is not the same woman I met
Mm.
16 years ago. I'm not the same man she met 16 years ago. But the thing
Wow.
about, in that process, we were willing to grow with each other.
Hmm.
Don't stifle the person you're with. If you can't allow them to grow to be the person that God has called them to be, not the one you called them to be. Hear me good.
Hmm.
The person that God has called them to be. If you can sit around and deal with it and tolerate it and be okay with who they're maturing to be, that's your person. But if you're
Mm.
trying to change the individual, if you're trying to make them to be who you want them to be, I can guarantee you that's not your individual. And you're gonna
Mm.
look up later on in life saying to myself, I wish I would have just thought twice and said myself and saved myself the drama, because
Right.
everything that she is right now, I had no clue she would become. But the only
Mm.
thing I didn't know about her is that I wanted to see what she become, and I
Wow.
was willing to take the journey with her. So that's what I want to leave everybody. If you are willing to take the journey with the individual, strap up, because it's going to be a journey.
Mm.
And I
Listen,
tell my friend,
right,
I don't just love my husband, I like him. Like, I actually like being around him. I, enjoy his company.
right,
I think that's another thing. It's more than love, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I love him," but girl, you don't like him at all. Like,
right. Yeah.
and it's really just enjoying each other and loving each other. And even at hard times, because there's days that he self-doubted, and not because he was mad at me, he would just shut down. Like, it would be
Mhm.
nothing. And I'm like, what's the matter? There's something
Right,
wrong. And then I
right,
find I'm like, I'm not against you. I'm here for you. So let
right.
me know what it is so that I can support you.
I can support
Because
you
you
in it.
shutting
Yeah.
me down isn't
Hmm.
going to help either one of us. You're
Right.
just going to get
Right,
smaller into your own bubble until one day it's going to burst,
right.
and we're going to have to deal with it. So let us
Mhm.
deal with it before it bursts, and then dealing with it when it bursts, because it's
Right,
going to burst.
right.
So
Exactly.
just remaining steadfast to each other, I think, and just to your overall goal. And if it starts to tether and fray, you have to decide on whether or not you're going to let it completely let loose, or you're going to go and build it. Like you said, building the table. It took us
Right,
forever to build this table. We're still building. And there are
right,
times we have to go back and fix a screw, and I'm holding up one piece so that he can get the other. But it's the teamwork to make that table our own.
right. And right, you just kind of gave a word. Honestly, that was like, I was like, you might have got a little deacon in you.
Hey,
Your
hey,
husband,
listen.
like,
Hey,
because
listen.
that was the word I felt it. I was like,
Hey, I give me A flat in here. If you get me started. Give me A flat in
I'm like
here.
all this
Hey,
I'm like, all this talk that I've always heard about the table, but for some reason, this table talk, it felt special. Okay. Because I'm just like, right, like, we bring in different things to the table. People don't even talk about what are we bringing to the table. Like, maybe I don't like what you're putting on this table. Like,
right.
maybe we get to work at, looking at, do we want to bring this to the table? Like
Right.
discussing that, like, I mean, like, there's so much beauty in building together. And I don't know, just from the way you were saying it, it just made me think about the beauty in the building, not just
Come
the fact
on.
that it's a chore, like, oh,
Right.
we got to build this together. It's like, no, like the beauty in the building and being proud, like what you said, Cassandra, of like what you created,
Correct. And
so
how
you
you
get to
set
sit
that
back and
table.
look like, yeah,
I did that.
Right.
that's a
That's
good
my
And
table.
and
I
plan.
you
built.
and the best part about the table, you know what I mean? Like, pick and choose what you're putting on it. Not
Yeah,
everything has to stay on it. Like you said, we've
right,
matured. We've
right,
grown. Some things don't fit our table. There is no
right.
more space for it. And he
Mhm.
knows that things that we've taken off our table
Right.
were to the benefit of the table.
Absolutely.
Some
Mhm.
things had to leave in
Right.
order for our table to stay stronger. So I think just acknowledging that. But again, we go
Mhm.
back to us being together. It's that unity of us doing it together, not
Right,
me assuming, well, you're the man, build it.
Right.
Why
right,
Right.
isn't the table made? How come you haven't created nothing yet? And I'm
right.
standing there waiting, and all I had, and I'm not really bringing much. That's not going to be a successful unit. That's not going to be a
Absolutely.
successful.
And if you think about what the purpose and how God set things up, at no point does God give you what you asked for and it's complete.
Yeah.
We didn't want the table. God gave us a tree. You want your red bottom shoes, right? He gave us cows. We got to put the work in to get whatever we want in life. I don't care what it is.
Right. You
There is
have
nothing that comes
the
to you
resources
packaged and
though.
ready to go. He's
Right.
gonna give you the resources, but you got to make it work. And a relationship is a resource that you have to make work.
Absolutely. Ooh, that's so good. Well, this has been amazing. We kind of, like jumped around. I'm so glad I did. I prayed about it before, and it was just to me, I loved it. Well, I've been just enjoying this series, anyways. But I'm very happy about the couples that I've chose to have come on, and that God has helped me, directing me in the right way of who to bring on, because I mean it's just so important to hear people's story, and just to have that encouragement and that those things that you think that everybody knows but they don't know,
Right.
they
Right.
just need to hear that bit of encouragement or that advice. So I thank you guys so much for sharing. I want to give you the opportunity, if you guys didn't have anything else that you wanted to add, um, I want to give you the opportunity to share anything that you guys are working on that you would like to tell the people about. Share your social medias and how people can follow you and your business. So, you guys can do that now.
Well, my name is Cassandra Dockery. I am co-owner to Blooming Pages, which is a consulting company for early childhood educators to help inspire our children to move forward in where they're at, from where they're at. So we help them grow, teachers grow. We just wrote an affirmation book for children, so check it out. It's called
Ooh,
Love is Always. It's affirmations for children. You should say them every single day. It was illustrated by one of my former students, and I am the author with my partner Nadine. She's the co-author. It's available on Amazon. Love is Always. It's available on our website, bloomingpages.info.
yes. Well, hopefully, and I want to see you on Instagram more. So I'm gonna be hitting you up.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Get him.
And get
It's
that
just like you
link
said,
for
the
your
balance of
Amazon
learning
book.
balance with that.
Yes. No,
We're
but
working
just
on
for
it.
your book too, so that people can get in touch with you, like how to get that book, and
So you could
um,
definitely always go on Amazon. Bloomingpages.info is our handle
okay,
for every social media,
okay,
from
that's perfect.
Facebook to Instagram. We're on there. Love is always, positive affirmation book for kids. It's
Yes.
amazing, and you should check it out. Read it to your kids.
Yes, you're right.
All right, yo. Well, like I said, I'm very, very proud of this woman right here next to me because lights like light years of what I thought she was going to be doing, and I'm so proud of you. So continue to do your thing, baby. Um, I'm your boy, RJD The Imperfect Gentleman. I'm your men's confidence development coach with a specialize. I specialize in fatherless fathers. I've niched all the way down to where I am. I'm an individual who's a father who wasn't fathered, so I
Mhm.
understand it at a root note. I understand insides out about confidence, about feeling insecure, about feeling inadequate as a father, as a husband, as a leader. And all because I understand those things, I put together a coaching program now that will be coming very soon to the market, and it's all about masculinity and fatherhood. So keep your eyes glued out for that one. It's coming out very shortly, and it's going to be
Mhm.
a curriculum that's going to be for young men as older men as well, because there are a lot of things that older men don't know, that haven't taught the younger men, and a lot of things that the younger men that just don't know exist. And
Right.
because I've had the opportunity to speak to so many different men and be in their lives, I understand that there's so many things that need to be spoken between generations. So this program that I'm creating is going to be like a hub between a young generation and an older generation, just so we can be better men, husbands, and fathers. So you can check me out on Instagram at RJD The Imperfect Gentleman. You can also check me out on my podcast, The Imperfect Fathers Podcast, which is on YouTube. And check me out there. That's where I give out all my gems concerning fatherhood, manhood, and just being a leader in general. So that's pretty much it. She's going to be a mom in real time right now. That's why she had to get up, and my son needs some more attention right now. But that's who
Oh,
we are. That's what we. That's our.
Sorry.
no, you're fine. You're fine. No, well, just thank you again. I appreciate you all so much. This was just a beautiful interview, and you can just see the magic and the work, and the beautiful product of what you guys have built, as we discussed. So I just thank you guys for being here,
Thank you for having
and
us. Thank you for having
yes,
us.
and to the audience, thank you so much for continuing to rock with us.
Right.
We will be back in a couple of weeks. And so until then, we will see you next time. Good night, everyone.
Peace, family.